Hi, my name is Nathalie Weister, and I am a first time author of a book titled The Energy Blueprint for Leaders: Applying Chakra Wisdom to Reclaim Your Vitality and Transform the Way You Work. And it's such a pleasure for me to be here with you all today. And I want to thank the Boulder Bookstore for offering me this platform to have an intimate conversation with all of you and respond to a few questions about my book. So I'll start with just a brief synopsis of the Energy Blueprint for Leaders. This book is a guide to leading from within, and it introduces this framework that maps the chakra system, which is, if you're unfamiliar, it's a centuries old energetic model. It comes from the ancient practice of yoga, and it maps the chakras to modern leadership challenges. Each chapter explores one of 7 energy centers and how it shapes leadership behavior, communication, culture, and decision making. And in the book, I share personal stories, reflection prompts, practical tools, all with the motive to help leaders reconnect to their values, to regulate their energy, and lead with greater clarity, presence, and purpose. I was inspired to write this book both from a place of my own experience of burnout, of unfulfillment, and this deep desire and yearning for integrity, a return to integrity for myself. After years of working with leaders inside of high growth organizations, I kept seeing the same patterns: disconnection, depletion, a sense of misalignment, even among the highest performers. And I saw that in myself too. And the tools that I had didn't feel like enough. They felt surface level. And so it wasn't until I really turned inward toward the wisdom of my own body and my own energetic system that I began to really find clarity and that path back to wholeness. So I wanted to share that pathway, not just as a personal story, but again, as a framework that others could apply in their own leadership. One of the questions I've been asked is, how did I go about designing the exercises that I recommended in my book? And these exercises are really drawn from over a decade of coaching, leadership development, and my own embodiment work, my own work in dozens of different programs, different modalities, from coaching to different therapeutic models to retreat spaces, spiritual studies. And I've facilitated hundreds of sessions now with leaders across all different industries, all different walks of life. And I just notice where people get stuck and what's helped them move forward. So I wanted each of these exercises to be both reflective, but also very actionable and tangible. So in the book, you'll find practices that support both a personal inquiry made for you to do individually, but I also offer tools for shifting team dynamics or decision-making patterns in groups. And all of it is intended to meet people exactly where they are. So no chakra knowledge is required. The next question that I've been asked is, how do the chakras work in the energy blueprint for leaders? As I said, the chakra system is this ancient map of human energy. And it turns out it can also be a really powerful diagnostic tool for leadership. So each chakra represents a distinct energetic center and a domain of experience. So it can relate to everything from safety and trust, that's the root chakra, the first chakra, to how we communicate, how we express ourselves, that's the throat chakra, or how we envision the future, what our vision is. And that calls into question what our purpose in the world is. What is that North Star? And that's really that crown chakra at work. So in the book, I use these chakras as these organizing principles to explore how energy flows or how it gets blocked in leaders and organizations. When one center is imbalanced, it can show up as burnout, as breakdowns, misalignment, miscommunication. But when they're all integrated, the leadership then becomes so much more coherent and alive. The next question that I've been asked is, what is one simple thing that every leader can start doing today to help them approach their work with greater intention, integrity, and energy? My response to that is pause, listen to your body before making a decision. So many of us are trained to override our inner signals in favor of speed or logic. We live from the neck up, but your body holds such important information. Your body carries all this wisdom. And when you create that moment of stillness before you act, whether it's reacting in a meeting, in an email, or in some conflict situation, you can tap into that deep inner intelligence. And that one small shift, if practiced consistently, can start to rewire everything. And then the results in our life start to change. What are a couple of books you've read recently that you really loved? Oof. I'm an avid reader. Hence why I'm so excited to be here with you in the Boulder bookstore today. I devour books, and I'm always reading at least 3 or 4 books at one time for different moods, of course. But I read a lot across the worlds of spirituality, psychology, business, personal development. A couple of books that have really stood out lately for me are one, Parallel Universes of Self by Frederick Dodson, which is a fascinating exploration of quantum possibilities, personal agency, and how we can align with different outcomes by entangling with them in the quantum field and shifting our state of consciousness. The second book that's been really impactful for me recently is one called The Having by Soo-Yoon Lee and Joo-Yoon Hong. And it's a beautifully written, deeply insightful book about cultivating inner abundance and changing your relationship with money and fulfillment. And so it's this rare blend of both spiritual wisdom, but practical application, which clearly is the kind of thing that I like. The last thing I'd add just to share about my book is that it isn't just for people in leadership positions, quote unquote, or C-suite positions inside of a company. I define leadership really broadly as anyone who takes responsibility for their impact in the world, who takes that ownership and is clarity of purpose. That can include entrepreneurs, educators, artists, parents, other coaches like me. And the truth is that we're all influencing systems every single day, whether you're aware of it or not. So this book is an invitation to lead from coherence, to return to your own inner alignment so that your actions in the world come from a place of integrity and wholeness. So now I'll share just a short passage from the book with all of you. This comes towards the end of the book. Leadership in all forms. Leadership is an energy, not just a title. It's a way of being and a sacred responsibility. This book offers a reframe from the old paradigm of leadership, so often wrought with egoic ambition, dominance, and control, to one that is based in alignment, stewardship, co-creation, and presence. This is the essence of energetic leadership. My message is directed to all leaders, executives, founders navigating growth, solopreneurs building their business stream with intention, and parents stewarding the next generation, educators guiding hearts and minds, and artists birthing vision into form. Anyone who takes responsibility for their impact on this magnificent world is a leader. The organization in which you operate is a system, but so are you. The same energetic architecture applies whether you're scaling a company or raising a child. Your leadership is either aligned or misaligned. It's integrated or fractured, coherent or chaotic. This is the liberation at the heart of this work. You don't have to dominate to lead. You don't have to burn out to make an impact, and you don't have to sacrifice your truth for someone else's success metrics. You get to choose to lead from within. The world is shifting fast. With AI, automation, and algorithmic intelligence rising, knowledge is no longer a differentiator. What sets you apart now is embodiment. your ability to stay attuned to your inner signals and act from clarity, not your conditioning. Your capacity to feel, process, utilize your inner technology to keep energy flowing unobstructed is your professional edge. This is what keeps you operating from your natural state of safety and significance so you can do what you came to do in this life, to grow and expand. You're not here to avoid life's inevitable challenges, but to persist in spite of them. Being a leader is not how much, but how you live, how you stay present, listen deeply, trust your intuition, and most importantly, vulnerably open your heart. Technology can't replicate or experience that. It can't give us what we all want, which is a feeling, fulfillment, inner abundance, and peace. So thank you again for being here with me. Thank you for your interest in my book. Again, it's called The Energy Blueprint for Leaders. You can find it in the Boulder Bookstore. And I appreciate you supporting me again as a first-time author and sharing this message with the world. If this resonates, share it with a friend or a colleague. Thank you so much.